I wasn't certain what a prelude to a video like this might mean, right? Or let's say that I smoked out of a plantain banana, right? Because the world is gay, like Nietzsche says, the gay science, right? So not attributing authors, but blaming authors. Oh, the blame game has got to end. You are responsible for what you put out though. This is a Buddhist monitor, which is very Buddhism. It's a Buddhism. It's a Buddhism, but it's also a Buddhism. Kind of like this is a Buddhism, which is the difference between red and white, which from my neck of the woods in the U.S., red and white is a severe theological discourse, which is a lot different than this kind of Buddhism, which at least has another, half inch to an inch to it, right? Anyway, so back to plantain bananas. Oh, God. Shit, where'd that go? There it is. Sorry, I'm brewing coffee in the background. I sat there and I thought, okay, I better put this on film, right? Yeah, I'm the fan, man. I keep... Okay, I've sinned against the body. I've tempted God in a few ways. Okay, anyway, what I wanted to get at was this notion that everything is Play-Doh, right? Kind of this that had to do with, I'll call this hermeneutics right here, which is this like flying eyeball that like a neurosynapse fits nice and comfortably inside of this end of this neurotransmitter, which is in the hindbrain of my ass. I like to call my ass Gary. This is a butthole right here that has an olive butt plug, and it shot out its innard, the red innard. I just haven't painted it red. Let me get to that real quick because we're on a video. And this is called Painter's Report, right? Because Painter's Report, oh God, it's so much different than a walk and talk. I think it's more expressive, right? It takes a different class than the YouTube community. What the fuck? So what the fuck is this? If this... I'm really not trying to be patronizing. I know who my friends are, but have a cracker. Eat a fucking cookie. Okay? Oh, by the way, over here... Wait, let's start up here. This is a cross. And then this is a cross in a mirror, right? And this is the top part of the cross. And what would it be if that mirror, like a Xerox machine, instead of a mirror, kind of like the difference, spit off a paper, instead of reflected a mirror, it was like a Xerox machine that printed that cross. But in this case, its ink was working, and it was all dark. And in this case, the ink was working, and it was all bright and shiny. Had sunshine and shit. I don't know if you're following me, so let me move it into 3D. This is a cross. Right here. Let's start again. This is... Okay. This is north. This is west. This is east. This is south. Okay. This is the world right here. Let's create the world right here. Now, somebody came along and they said that the devil's down here. and that that's bad. And that like a sword, this cross of this pyramid points downward to Cain, right? And then here comes along these Mormons, and they make the argument about, no, it's not about Cain, it's about north and about south. It's about the wicked and the God-fearing. And then somehow, somewhere along the line, they wanted to rotate that up like a cross. Or so instead of a cross, we have a pyramid. Right. Let's talk about the cross rotating in 3 dimensions. Don't forget this little Xerox scenario of crosses up here. I'm not the best man in the world. Okay, here are some feet. Here's a satyr's foot. And it's being kicked to shit by this other bloody foot, like it's half bloody right there, right? It's half bloody because it's kicking the shit out of this floating blade here, right? This invisible, non-existent blade that's leaking this non-existent blood. And because it's doing that, here's its real foot kicking the fuck out of the throat of this guy who's a clown who happens to be me. To some extent, to the extent that this argument applies. Now, neurosynaptically, we have a recessive or a feminine pocket that can have lots of different shapes. And the hermeneutics is like the flying eyeball, right, which flies out. And this flying eyeball, let me just give you a close-up, is different than the Old Spice that Gary calls ass when he points the camera at himself. How do you like them double chins? Apple was. By the way, I gotta show you something. In a minute. Hey, so, shit, that's where my other beer went. So anyway, oh, there it is. So this flying eyeball went to town, right? And when it went to town, this flying eyeball flew onto an eyeball that was classic, that was crying. Okay. It's pure sport, Old Spice. It's purely for the sport of it. It's what artists and artisans are using these days to blow your minds, to control your value system. But some of this is useful also. Yes, this stuff will save your ass from Texas. It'll save your ass. It'll remediate your wet ass, you devil who swims and does spider webs. Okay. Anyway. So my cigarette is almost out. My plantain banana has come to its course. My money is gone. There's no more money in the world to be found. Right? People cannot understand the hyperbolic relationships that they have to notions of good and bad. And like this little a-hole is to this b-hole, right, or this b-hole is to this a-hole, is as a contact lens. Here, let's draw a contact lens for all those people that want to join in on painter remediation and or painter report, or on what the painter, which it would be a fun thing to paint. It's like a contact lens, like a jellyfish, or like a contact lens, like the new kind, not the old kind that are like this bubblish kind, right? Like this kind. Not the kind that would mirror nicely what I'll call a hermeneutic or a neurotransmitter or fitting, right? But it lays somewhere along intercourse, it's a technology, it's a plasticine technology that could be made metaphor absolutely and positively against the structures, the crystalline diamonistic structures that let's say flip-flopping northwest, southeast, worldly, wicked versus good versus bad, which is opposite of good, right? Or let's switch this diamond around and put the orb up top. The orb is the infinite, right? Okay, now Buddhism. Let's get back to Buddhism. Buddhism. This must be ass talk for some of you. If you're interpreting this as ass talk, certainly either A, you don't know who I am, or B, you don't get it, or C, you don't know who you are relative to me. Okay, so anyway, there's not much more to this painting that I'm going into other than this particular dialogue. The monkey man, the clown, the helmet, the bald man's helmet, the wisdom, the horns that hold up this thingy, majingy, that says is heaven, which is also akin to this moving to heaven, which is fearful and clown-like, but is piercing and top-oriented, like the Dark Knight, like Batman, the Dark Knight, like Spider-Man. Nietzsche hates a Spider-Man, by the way. No Spider-Man. No casting webs. We want a hammer. We want a hammer. Talk about Old Spice being ass. Take a look at 51-year-old Gary not pulling a soggy one. Not pulling a soggy. He's over here. Wait, no, wait, no, he hasn't even landed. He doesn't even know where his synapse is, or he's trying to teach me. No, here's the synapse, asshole. Start speaking, and don't butt plug. Is that a butt plug? Wait, no, this is a butt plug. In red over here. In red over here we have the feminine yay hole, the bee hole, and right here's the butt plug in red. Goes right there, it goes out. Anyway, it's clown-like. I think this is failing. What do you think, Angela? How's my video doing so far? Anyway, this was a floating schizoid monster, right, where the feet of the satyr are being kicked by this other foot, but this rally sport on a healthy shin was well balanced. I just didn't know if this track was running against this track, if this was a road. If your life is parallel to anybody else's like a road system in binary, you need to find out whether or not it's a dotted line or whether or not it's a straight line, a flat line. If it's a flatliner, if you're dealing with a flatliner, then there's not so many damages. If you're dealing in opposition, then you got to figure out whether or not you're on the passing lane on one side, or if both sides have a passing lane. If both sides have a passing lane, you got to be aware of that. Anyway, so I don't know what to say. I only got another minute. I hope I answered something. Oh, what about this thing? This Mobius strip. If you're not running some course here in light green or dark green, and you're not running an internality or an externality, if you're not popped or you're not settled in the pop, then you're hermeneutic. But you might be dark. You might just be talking horse shit. You might be a clown with Jack's head. I mean, I love everybody on here. I'm trying to figure out the best way to actually unfold something. Really, really. I mean, this is a task, right?